Welcome to the Ecommerce Marketing Podcast, the highly rated digital marketing podcast that provides weekly digital marketing tips and strategies from some of the world's top digital marketers and e-commerce entrepreneurs that will help you take your digital marketing to the next level. Sit back and enjoy this power-packed episode hosted by Arlen Robinson, who is an e-commerce entrepreneur and digital marketing expert with over 20 years of experience. Hey, e-commerce marketing podcast listener. Are you looking to increase traffic and sales to your website? You can do this by launching your own affiliate program. Just visit getosi.com and sign up for a free trial today. That's getosi.com. Now get ready to hear from your e-commerce marketing expert of the week as they drill down to give you details on marketing strategies that can help grow your business.
Welcome back to the E-Commerce Marketing Podcast, everyone. My name is Arlen, and I am your host. And today we have a very special guest, Vash Tomanec, who is a 25-year-old serial entrepreneur who has actually built 3 successful 7-figure businesses. He took his marketing agency, BullAds, which specializes in e-commerce marketing, from $0 to $1 million in sales for his clients, from $0 to $1 million in 2 years. And he's actually helped generate more than 50 million in sales for his clients. Welcome to the podcast, Vash.
Thank you, Arlen, for having me.
Yes, no problem. And I'm super excited to talk to you. Thank you for joining us today. Today we're going to be diving deep into the topic of Facebook ads tracking, and the importance of a strong mindset, for e-commerce business owners. And so I think it's really a hot topic, as I was mentioning to you before we did start recording. Oftentimes I'm talking about straight marketing tactics and strategies on here. My guests are talking about those tactics. And we don't often talk about the mindset that you have to have, which I think is very important. And you're going to definitely, enlighten us a little bit about the proper mindset that you should have based on your success. But before we do get into all of that, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your background and specifically how you got into what you're doing today?
Yes. So it was a little coincidence. So I'm from small country in Europe, Czech Republic, 10 million people. Nobody in my family is an entrepreneur. So I wasn't exposed to what is possible until I read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That's when it showed me, okay, this is what's possible. You can be an entrepreneur. So I had the idea to be an entrepreneur one day. And at university, I started to play with Facebook and Instagram ads for my friend who was having e-commerce business. And I started to having some success there. So I decided to take on more clients. And then I couldn't handle it myself. So I opened an agency called BullAds. And we focus on e-commerce businesses in the United States and Canada. And we basically help them grow, because ultimately that's what we found out most businesses want, is just bigger numbers or more profit. So that's what we are helping them with. I took this business from $0 to $1 million in less than 2 years. And that was in profit for kind of the business BullAds. And we help over $50 million generate to our clients. So that is the first business. Then along the way, I started coaching people, especially on the mindset part we will speak about later. And now I've coached over 1,000 entrepreneurs from 60 countries to help them, again, grow their businesses by overcoming their mindset. And lastly, I set up a software company that helps e-commerce businesses get more accurate data after the iOS 14 update that had a big impact for many e-commerce businesses. So that's a bit about myself and how I got to where I'm now.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that, and definitely congratulations on the success that you have had, at such a young age. That's really remarkable. Not many businesses can, have those type of stats and that type of growth in that 2-year time frame that you mentioned, going from $0 to, $1 million and it's also profit for through that time. That's definitely impressive. So definitely hats off to you. And you're definitely doing the right thing for sure. As I mentioned, of course, at the top of the episode, we're going to be talking about Facebook ads, ad tracking, and then the importance of mindset, of course. So really kind of want to start off with the Facebook area. And I wanted to see, from your experience, what do you think are the key components of a successful Facebook campaign for e-commerce businesses?
Mm-hmm. Great question. To me, is if you have a bad product market fit, you could invest millions of dollars inside of Facebook ads, but it's not going to produce great results. So I always tell people, even if I'm now choosing clients to work with, we look at if the product market fit makes sense. If the people they're going after, if that's something they need or they want. So that's the first thing for any successful business, but also campaign. Second is most businesses assume who their ideal customer is. They think it's lady in their 40s, but when we really go deeper, it's maybe a lady or a man in their 30s. So
Right.
really doing thorough customer avatar is so crucial. And some of our clients spend even do 50 interviews with ideal customers to find out their desires, what they appreciate, what they value, what are the red flags they want to avoid, all of these things so they can cater to them. Because I work with a lot of fashion stores or fashion boutiques, and they tell me, Vash, we cater to everybody. We have clothes for 18-year-old and we have clothes for 60-year-old. I said,
Right.
amazing, but where does your 80% of revenue comes from?
Mm-hmm.
Because there is usually one segment where most of the money come from, and that's the segment we want to focus on Facebook ads. So first is have a good products for your ideal customer. Second is use targeting on Facebook to target your ideal customers and go out after the 80-20. Don't go after the whole range. Rather focus on the people that bring you most revenue. Second is, of course, the creatives. But what we found out, Arlen, is that a lot of businesses invest a lot of money in ads, like in creatives, making the most professional videos. But especially with fashion and with other clients too, or other industries, we've noticed if the client is making it on their iPhone and it's not so professional, it gets better results than these videos that cost $5,000 or $10,000. Because if you're scrolling and you see something that look like at least like an ad, you almost skip it immediately because you're
sure.
like, another ad.
Right.
But if you're like, let's say there is a lady in a dress and it seems like not so high quality, you're almost like, isn't it my friend? And as a result, you're like more focused on it because you don't consider an ad. So in terms of creative, we've noticed what works really well, again, for most products was quick videos on iPhone and basically 8 to 10 seconds. And if it's fashion, maybe it's the lady in a dress coming near the camera, doing a spin and walking out, works like a magic. So that would be on the creative side. And for the copy itself, for the text, which is still very important, honestly, we used to have multiple copywriters, but now we just use the help of AI, because the AI got our hands so much freed up. It helps so much. We still do final polishing, but if we ask really, really good questions, we've noticed that the AI can do better job than some copywriters, to be honest.
Right. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, and I'm really glad that you mentioned the part about the creative, because I think what you said really kind of opens up this whole arena to so many more businesses that didn't really realize that, they don't necessarily have to have a highly produced $5,000, ad snippet, that they post on Facebook. It's not necessary because, like you said, I mean, it's very key that if you have something out there that, as long as you've got that messaging that's going to resonate with your target audience, it's something where, like you said, if somebody's scrolling through those highly produced ads, they look too much just like the regular commercials. And these days, I don't know about you, but I don't watch too many commercials when I'm watching anything these days. I try my best to just kind of skip through anything. I most of my content that I consume is on demand. And I think the majority of people these days are kind of in that same model, or, are kind of consuming things under that same model. And so it's very, very key that you mentioned that if it's something that they think their friend down the street just made, they're going to slow down and just watch that, as opposed to a highly glossy, highly produced glossy video. So yeah, very, very key, indeed. And as far as the content is concerned,
Exactly.
yeah.
And
Also
to
very
just
important.
add on to it, so these were kind of few principles, and as I said, there is no amount of money that will compensate for bad product or bad
Right, right.
product market fit. And the same applies to the website. You could have the most amazing ads that people are clicking like crazy, but
Mhm,
if you go to a website where people can't find relevant information, like, okay, how much is it shipping?
mhm.
How long does it take to ship? Okay, what sizes you have? Whatever it is, then again, it will be hard to convert them and make these ads profitable. So I noticed that a lot of agencies focus on we do Facebook ads, and that's basically all. But we want to take more holistic approach. Like we want to make sure their website is optimized so the customers has the best customer experience. As a result, the profitability of the ads increase. The same with emails. Email is the best marketing because it's, again, some software costs, but it's minimum. The costs are minimal, and also it's like people who will open the emails, or usually 20% of people open the emails, so
Mhm.
you can communicate to them and get them back to finish the purchase or buy your new collection. So we take more of the holistic approach, and the last principle would be functional website that
Yep.
just answers people's questions.
Yep.
And a lot of people's questions are, how much is shipping, how long does it take, can I return it? If
Yep.
these questions are not answered on the website, people will leave or they will just bombard your support.
Yeah, very, very true. And yeah, there's nothing really that can go around not having a good product. It really just goes down to those core fundamentals. You got to have a good product. Otherwise, no matter what you do,
100%.
no matter what you do, it's just not going to, you're not going to be able to sell it. That's the bottom line. You won't be able to
Yeah.
sell it, and you won't be able to, you're going to get bad reviews, and it just becomes kind of a trickle down effect. That bad product just kind of ties to so many things. So yeah, very, very key. Now, I'm a huge advocate for learning from mistakes, because I think that's where you kind of are able to grow the most, learning lessons from mistakes that
Mhm.
either other businesses had or you've had yourself personally as a business owner. So I wanted to see, can you share some of the most common mistakes that e-commerce owners make when they're setting up their Facebook ads?
Yes. So the most common mistakes, I would 100% say that first they try to do it themselves, even though they don't have the experiences.
Right.
So they just think, yeah, well, I will do it myself. And then they come 2 months later, oh, I wasted X amount of thousands of dollars and nothing
Yeah.
happened. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. So almost like you don't want to wear all the hats in the business. I see a lot of beginner entrepreneurs in the e-commerce, they wear all the hats, which I get because maybe they don't have the capital. But as soon as you
Mm-hmm.
can, stop wearing certain hats that you're not very good at. You don't need to
True.
package the orders, because maybe your value is in sourcing new products or picking new collections. That's maybe where your unique opportunity, your unique value comes in, but not that
Mm-hmm.
you're packaging or that you're doing Facebook ads you've never done before. So first is just kind of trying to do it themselves with
Right.
first thing. Second mistake that is the opposite is they hire an agency, but they don't check or they
Mm-hmm.
just let it run. And they
Yeah.
come back again a few months later and said, oh, we had this agency, we spent X amount of money and nothing happened.
Mm-hmm.
Again, choose your agency wisely, check their case studies, and make sure that they have your interest in mind. For example, we do retainer, but also commission from the performance or performance
Mm-hmm.
fee. So again, the client knows if we are delivering better results, we will be rewarded too. Because if
Yeah.
agency is paid monthly fixed, I tell them scaling you to
Mm-hmm.
bigger numbers takes double the amount of time. So why they
Right.
would want to scale you if you still pay them the same? So
Right.
again, I would say do performance fee on top of maybe retainer.
Mm-hmm.
If you find agency like that, I would 100% recommend that.
Yep.
And third mistake is that people have too high expectations.
Mm-hmm.
They almost maybe heard somebody that put $1,000 in ads and got 100,000 back, and they almost expect that, even though
Yeah.
they have much less known product, they have much less brand awareness, whatever it is, and they expect the results. And then after a week, they get discouraged and they quit. But it's almost like the guy with the hammer who is so close to the diamonds, but he gives up. So sometimes like it takes little patience. So some people have too high expectations. As a result, they quit too early and they don't get to the rewards.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, those are some great mistakes, and we can see the valuable lessons, learn from those and from those mistakes that others have made. One of the things you mentioned that I see a lot of business owners make, and this kind of goes down to that first mistake, as far as, not leaving it up to the experts, thinking that they can do it as the business owner. They can go in there and do the Facebook ads. What I constantly see, and this is across any of these type of ad platforms, and this is what business owners don't really realize, is that Facebook, all of these platforms, Twitter, any of these social ad platforms where you can actually get ads on their platform, they make it super easy for you to get in there, create an account, get an ad, post it out there. And, so it kind of lures you in because you're like, oh, wow, I'm just go ahead and create an ad account. We're going to create this campaign. I mean, you can literally do it in 5 minutes or less. And so, but you have to put yourself in the shoes of Facebook. Obviously, they've done this because they want as many people, many business owners to get in there and buy their ads and buy ad slots because, that's how they make their money, of course. So that's how people kind of get sucked in. So they have to kind of step beyond that and realize, it may be easy to get this ad out there, but is it going to be profitable? Is it going to, reach the right market? There's a lot of things behind the scenes that you have to account for. So I think that's kind of one of the things that I see. One of the reasons why a lot of the businesses make mistakes, just because of that ease, they've kind of eliminated the barrier of entry. So just, really a 10-year-old could really go in there and create an ad account really and get going with it. If they have a credit card, they have access to.
Yeah. It's easy to start, but it's like with anything else, like trading, right? Trading is now extremely accessible, but doesn't mean people are actually making money, especially the amateurs. So the same is here, like you can launch your own ads, you can do it easily, but you're probably missing 90% of the features or 90% of the additional things that if you hire somebody who's already expert at it.
Yeah, true indeed. Well, Vash, I want to kind of shift gears here and get into the topic of mindset, as I mentioned at the top of the episode. So I wanted to see, as far as mindset is concerned, it's often a key differentiator in success, of course, that I see with different business owners as well. So I wanted to see, can you discuss how a strong mindset has contributed to your success in e-commerce, and really what did that mindset look like that you had?
100%. Again, mindset is very broad term, right? I don't know what's a better word for it, but it's very broad, and I try to make it super practical. And I analyze my life where I achieve, I believe, quite a lot in short time. And also I analyze the successful e-commerce businesses from unsuccessful because I worked with multiple. So I had multiple comparisons. And basically the first one always was vision. The businesses that weren't really successful, they told me, Vash, I just want to make more money, or I just want to increase my revenue. It was very vague, very unspecific. But the successful business owners or myself, it was very specific. By the end of the year, I want to hit these numbers. By the end of the year, we want to impact these people. By the end of the year, we want to reach this amount of people. And just having the clear vision allow them to then prioritize the daily activities that will get them there. So for example, if your main goal is to grow revenue, you might use different avenue than if you just want to reach more people and get brand awareness, for example. So clear vision was huge. Second, all of these successful business owners had a clear plan how to achieve it. So it wasn't in the stars. Because some business owner tell me, Vash, I want to hit $100,000 a month by the end of the year. I was like, amazing. So what's your strategy to make it happen? And they said, and almost like that. I said, so your plan is to continue doing what you've been doing, right? Yes. So how do you think that will allow you to double your revenue? They said, I don't really know. So second thing was knowing exactly what needs to happen, what is the strategy. So it's not just some random dream, it's actually practical. So it's actually, you can do something. It's a team can strive for it. The team knows what to do each day to get closer to it. That was another step. And then also, this is kind of harder to touch, but it's almost the limiting beliefs that all of us at some level have, because if the business owner believes that it's impossible to reach $100,000 a month with their product, then that's your reality. That will become their reality. If they believe that people are not willing to pay $20 more for their product, and then again, they didn't test it, then it could be just limiting belief, So all of these business owners that weren't as successful as they wanted to be had certain beliefs that were just slowing them down. Yeah. They maybe believe the market is too saturated, Facebook ads simply doesn't work for us, but they didn't have any proof of it. They just had a bad experience with running Facebook ads for a week, and they made this conclusion: Facebook ads doesn't work. Yeah, or it could be with anything else. So the beliefs are so crucial. So I ask business owners, okay, this is your vision, this is your daily activities, or this is the strategy to get there. What beliefs do you need to adapt to get there? Because if you believe that people are not willing to pay $100 for a product and you want to 10x your revenue, and it's doesn't equal. It's very hard to do, for example, if increasing the prices would help to get there. Yeah. So this would be kind of few small things that I would share that really allows to have a strong mindset, so people go and just get the goals. And lastly, I would add to it is, some people strive for 100% satisfaction, which is amazing. It's great to go to do that. But it should be more about the effort, but not expecting it to happen. Because I work with multiple stores and none of them had zero returns. None of them had zero complaints. Right. And some business owners just see it as a part of a game and maybe, okay, what can we do better? As you said, Arlen, learning from mistakes. So next time they make it better. Yeah. But some business owners get devastated. They're just like, oh no, we are having so much returns. This is so terrible. Why us? No, and they get in this victim mode where they start complaining, blaming. Right. And as a result, they're not going to achieve their goals. So it's, again, striving for customer satisfaction, learning from mistakes. But if 100% satisfaction doesn't happen, just move on, learn from it, and don't get too hang on that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, those are some great tips, and it's a great breakdown of the mindset that you have to have, as well as the beliefs. Now, a business owner, of course, can have all of these things. They can follow what you said. They can line up their goals with what they want to achieve, and those are awesome things that you should do. But what I want to see now is, as an e-commerce owner, how do you really handle setbacks and then still maintain that positive mindset? So I want to see, can you share a time when your mindset actually played a crucial role in overcoming a challenge that you had?
100%. Like the easiest, the fastest way is the words we use, right? Because you might say, oh, we have this big problem, or we struggle with this, and these words are very heavy. They almost make you feel like, oh my goodness, my life is terrible. Right. Or what I've noticed with myself, when a problem arises, I would just say, it's inconvenient. When we had a few issues in, let's say, billing clients, and there was big losses, I was just like, that's inconvenient. What can we do about it? Right. If there is nothing we can't do about it, I don't spend my energy there, because there is no point. Yeah. But if there is something I can do, I immediately obsess about the solution, not the problem. I see that a lot of e-commerce businesses that are having quote unquote problems are those that problem happens and they start again be like, oh, why is it happening to me? But the successful e-com owners, they're like, okay, they accept it because you can't reverse time. And they just ask themselves, what can we do about it to minimize the damage? What can we do about it so it never happens again? What can we learn from this to get better? They have more proactive approach because they understand you can't reverse time, and every mistake makes you better and could potentially in the future saves you millions of dollars just because you had this new lesson.
Yeah, really, for sure. Yeah, that's great because, you know, obviously you're going to have challenges that come up as a business owner. It's inevitable, and it's just about, you know, how you handle that. Yeah, and not necessarily getting down about it, like you said, beating yourself up about it. And then those things that are totally out of your control, there's no point in dwelling on it or, you know, giving any mind space to that at all, because obviously, you know, it's out of your control. And there's a lot of things that do come up when you're in business that, you know, just happen, that are, you know, beyond your control. You know, an example would be, I'm in the Orlando, Florida area. And, you know, as far as business owners, every year we have a hurricane season. And during the hurricane season, if a storm does come, you know, some businesses have to shut down. You know, let's say you have a retail establishment, maybe you even have an e-commerce establishment as well. You may have to close your door for several days when people can't get out. So then obviously that's beyond your control. So what are you going to do to make up for that? You know, boost up your e-commerce side of things, devote more time into marketing the e-commerce side of your business. And so those are the things that you have to do. And it's good to see that, you know, it's just a matter of how you look at these things and these challenges, and then you're being able to pivot. Well, Vash, as we get ready to wrap things up, I wanted to see if you could share one piece of advice that you wish someone had given you when you started your first e-commerce business.
That's very, very good question. Definitely to me personally, I would say that every no is getting you closer to yes, because I was so afraid of getting rejected by potential customers, by potential clients, and I was just petrified or terrified by it. So, but I now know, looking back, that each no was necessary to get me closer to the yes. So that would be my first advice. And if I was to advise somebody having e-commerce business, I would just tell them that basically that the goal could be closer than you think. It could be just few shifts that you do that could skyrocket your business. And I've seen it over and over again. And the best way is to get third eyes on your business, because sometimes the business owner is too in the business to see maybe some leaky holes or some opportunities. So whether it's other e-com business owner that is in similar position, let them look at your business, or let some advisor in to look at it, because you might have opportunity lying in front of you, but you just don't see it. You just need another pair of eyes. So that would be kind of another advice to e-com business owners.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that. It's, you know, we all, when we're going through business, you know, it's kind of, hindsight is always 2020. We always think, you know, if I were to known that at this time, I would have been so much further. And so, that's why it's always interesting to see, you know, the piece of advice that, you know, you wish someone would have told you. But, you know, we can't go back. You can't change the past. So it's always best to just kind of look forward. And the best we can do is learn from the journeys of others, the mistakes and the lessons that others have, have made. So, thanks again for sharing that. And I've definitely learned a lot. This has been a great episode. As I mentioned, you know, we don't often talk about mindset, but I think that's definitely a very crucial thing when it comes to growing any business, and specifically an e-commerce business, you know, having that right mindset. But what now I'd like to do is, just before we close things out, I always like to switch gears so our audience can get to know you a little bit better. So if you don't mind sharing one closing fun fact about yourself that you think we'd be interested to know.
Fun fact, I would say, is that 3 years ago, when I was kind of freelancing, not having yet my agency, I was delivering food for Uber Eats, but not in my car, on my bike. My last job I've ever had was delivery guy.
Okay. Wow. That's interesting. That's definitely a fun fact. Uber Eats on a bike, and I couldn't imagine. Hopefully you were doing that. I know you said you're in the Czech Republic. Hopefully you were doing it during a season where you didn't have some brutal winter weather.
The thing is, I did it in rain. I did it even in winter, so I would have so much layers.
Wow.
But back then, it was the best way to support myself financially.
Gotcha.
So luckily, that was the last job I had to have.
Okay, gotcha. Well, thank you for sharing that. And yeah, I understand where you're coming from. You got to do what it takes when you're, before you get things going and, to sustain yourself, whatever it takes. And that's a great mindset that you have to have, whatever it takes, whether it's a low paying job just to make ends meet before you can get into doing what you really want to do.
Yeah.
So good stuff. That's awesome to hear. And lastly, before we do let you go, if you don't mind sharing the best way for our listeners and viewers to contact you, if they want to pick your brain any more about Facebook ads and having that right mindset.
Yes. If you have any listener, any questions, just I'm a very approachable guy. So the best way is my Instagram, which is Vash, VASH _Tomanec, TOMANEC, where you can just send me any questions and I will be happy to answer them. If you want to find out a bit more about the agency I run, it's BullAds.io. There you will find out more. And yeah, these are two best ways to connect.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Vash. I definitely recommend people to check you out and contact you via Instagram. And if they want to learn more about your business or engage with your business, just take a look, check out bullads.io. We'll have the link in the show notes as well for people to be able to get to that. Well, again, it's been awesome talking to you, Vash. We really appreciate your time. This has been a great episode. I know it's going to go a long way. So thank you for joining us today on the E-Commerce Marketing Podcast.
Thank you very much, Arlen.
All right.
Thank you for listening to the E-Commerce Marketing Podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to rate, review, subscribe, and share it with everyone you know. Are you looking to take your digital marketing to the next level, but are tired of weeding through countless YouTube videos with unproven and untrusted marketing strategies? Well, we have the answer for you. The More Sales Every Month online digital marketing course. In this information-packed course, you will learn effective keyword research, link building, content marketing, and much more to attract and convert your site visitors into paying customers. Just go to moresaleseverymonth.com and sign up today for a low one-time fee. In addition to this power-packed course, if you would like to get access to a growing repository of digital marketing articles, PDFs, and ebooks, check out getosi.com/resources and opt in to get full access to our library of priceless marketing information to help you take your digital marketing to the next level.